What is up, Tourettes, and welcome to this video today. Yes, I am making another video, obviously. Kawaii, that's why I'm here. But what I'm here to talk to you guys about today, because I had a meet and greet, well, sort of a meet and greet. It was this tour. I went with the Tourette Syndrome Association of Australia, and we had a picnic, and it was really cool because I got to meet some people with Tourette's. It was the first time I was actually meeting people with Tourette's, you know, a group of people. So that was a lot of fun. I mean, you saw in my last video what that was like. It was absolutely crazy. But it was a lot of fun. And anyways, one thing that I was asked to speak about a lot was telling people, I mean, like, what to do when you're at school with Tourette's. Why? And I was thinking, I should make a video based solely on this topic, which is telling your students and your whole school that you have Tourette's. That is something that you want to do as soon as possible. You just want to do it whenever you can. Like, I moved to my new school. I think I was in front of the whole school in an assembly like a week after I moved there, and I was telling the whole school about my Tourette's because it makes it so much easier. Because one thing is that people don't know. A lot of people don't know what Tourette's is. Or if they do, they have misconceptions about Tourette's and they don't know what it is exactly. So one thing you definitely want to do when you start out by telling people is you want to tell your teachers as well as the students. So I mean, it's not just the students you need to inform, it's the teachers as well. Because if the teachers were never taught when they were students what Tourette's was, they're not going to know what it is now. You don't all of a sudden just gain this knowledge when you become a teacher, an adult or whatever. But yeah, so when you're telling them about your Tourette's, you're gonna want to first tell them that you're born with it, and it's something that might go away, but it might not. And especially tell them that it's something you can't control. And obviously, you know all this stuff already. You kind of know what to say. I'm just kind of telling you to say it. You need to get in there and actually tell them. So definitely telling them that you can't control it. And one thing that I always use, which actually works very well, is when someone asks what it feels like. There's two things you can do. You can either say, try not to blink, so you can tell them just to stand there and try not to blink, and sometimes you have those days where you just don't need to blink as much, so that it's kind of pointless, that one. Another one, which is really useful, is telling people to think of an itch. So right now, I want you to think of an itch right now, and chances are you're going to get an itch somewhere in your body. Like, I've got one right there at the moment. And tell the person not to itch it. Tell them to just not itch it, and say to them that when they do itch it, that's them ticking. So I mean, I have to itch it. I'm not very good at holding it, but I think it's the impulsive thing with Tourette's maybe. But you know, it's not easy to hold the itch, and eventually you have to scratch it. And that's what I always explain Tourette's as. Is it's like an itch, because you can feel it building up, but you try not to itch it, but eventually you have to itch it. Like, there's no ways you're not going to itch it. You're always going to itch it unless you fall asleep. But you're not even going to fall asleep because your mind is concentrating so hard on itching it. Yeah. So that's definitely something you have to tell them. Basically, the best thing about telling people about Tourette's, starting the conversation in front of your class, is that people will ask questions. And that's the best thing. People will ask questions. I mean, I had someone with Tourette's that I met the other day, Ryan. He was 11, I think. And he went and he told his class, and I was, it was very great for him. He got such a good response from it. His peers were all happy and stuff. So, honestly, if you're getting bullied or anything at school, or you're getting rejected or anything's not going right with school because of your Tourette's, you have to tell your school about your Tourette's, your teachers and your classmates, because I promise you, it'll make your world a hell of a lot better. It's like for me, I obviously told my school about my Tourette's, so that was all good. But obviously in public, people didn't know what my Tourette's was. So it was kind of like being at school when you haven't told anyone, because everyone doesn't know what's going on, they just stare at you for doing it. Then I went on The Voice, and obviously people in public knew who I was, so they knew I had Tourette's. So now when I go in public, people know what it is, so it's not as awkward anymore. So it's kind of the exact same thing for school. So this week, or whenever you can, I want you right now, if you haven't told your school about your Tourette's, I want you to go now, get a piece of paper, go talk to your parents, sit down with them, and I want you to write a plan of something that you're going to speak to your class about. Make a presentation about Tourette's. Then go to your teacher as soon as possible and say to them, I want to talk to the class about Tourette's. If the teacher says, oh, do you have Tourette's, blah, 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 then you can tell them as well, because it'd be great, and then your life just becomes spectacular. So I hope you guys do that. But I will see you guys next week on Sunday. So don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want to see more. And yeah, leave a comment down below. I'll try and respond to as many of them as I can. I'm getting so many comments lately that it's really hard to respond to them. And you know, school, it's coming up to year 12 now, so it's crazy. But you know, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye. Wow!